Well, hey, little buddy. Where are you going? What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We're actually headed in Tampa. We got a 330 Grady White. We got to go look at the generator in it. I actually looked at it last week real quick to figure out what was wrong with it. And surprisingly, it's something I haven't seen ever on one of these generators. But I'll show you when I get there, so let me get to driving. I'll see you there. Alright, we're almost into Tampa here. I almost forgot though, last week I filmed because they pulled the head off of the stuck fuel injector from last week when I was out. So let's go to past me so we can take a look at that footage, and I'll meet you back at the Grady White. Well, thanks, future me. So here's our head. They got it off for me, luckily. And I guess they're gonna let me try to get our injector out of the hole here. So I'm gonna grab a hammer and a chisel and we'll go to town here. Get a good zoom on it here. Let's see. Hopefully it doesn't just shred into pieces. And she's moving. Yay! Alright, so on the other side, we've definitely got to clean this up. I got a nice non-abrasive wheel here. It won't hurt anything on the metal, so let's see if this will take it off there, or we're going to have to do some scraping. Oh, nice. I just broke my little wheel, look. Oh, she's stuck. Alright, let's see if I can pull this out. She's definitely stuck. There you go. Well, it's looking better. Definitely. Looks like our hole should be fine. And since it's Friday, we will put some cleaner on it and let it sit. I got an idea so we don't lose the cleaner for the weekend. Stick that. Stick the little piece back in the hole. That way we can fill this up and it hopefully will hold. There we go. Spray that a few more times before I leave. Well, it's Friday. I'm gonna pack it up. Next week school starts for my 3 kids, so it's gonna be a busy week here coming up. We'll continue this project on one of our next videos here. Hopefully we can get the motor back together. But that being said, back to you, future me. Well, thanks, past me. Well, here is our 330 in all of her glory. Nice view out here. Look at that. We've got us a competition next to us, Boston Whaler. I'm just kidding. I like the Whalers, they're nice boats. Well, let me get this beauty down on our lift here. We'll get it opened up and I'll show you what we're doing. Alright, we're in. We're all opened up here. I like these boats. Got plenty of room in the cabin. Full bathroom in them. Got the old hideaway screens here. But we're going to be working on our Fischer Panda in the hole here. So I came out to this boat last week and it was overheating, which the engine block was overheating, which is not typical. Typically the exhaust right here, that will overheat because you lose the water pump. Being this is a closed cooling system, your water pump right here. Let me get down so I can show you in the camera. So you have your water pump right here. You can tell this one has already been damaged before, so it got hot and melted. But the water pump's good now. No problem there, we're pumping water. If you look here, here's our coolant bottle, which I was messing with because I was trying to get coolant to flow. And that should be hung up right here. There's our bracket for it. Let me try to explain the best I can how this closed cooling system works on this Fischer Panda here, because almost all of the minis are the same. So right here is our water pump. This is the hose that connects to our thermostat here, and it flows through our heat exchanger and then back out. This hose right here goes down, it comes out at the back, the second connection, or the rear connection there, which leads us to the top here. So as this engine gets hot, the thermostat opens up and and allows coolant to flow through and then push back into our bottle. Our bottom line here goes through, and that's the first one connected right there. And that line, sorry, it's in a tight spot here. If you look at this line right here, that's to our water pump. Right here is our top line, so it flows through. It's pulling up fluid up into the pump from here. Well, there's a line right there. See that? Right there with my fingers on. That line goes under the block and leads us to right there. So basically this line right here, when you fill up that reservoir, that pushes fluid to the block. And then if you stick the reservoir above the block here, you can crack our bleeder screw right here, and it should empty fluid out of it right here. You can see I've already been trying. Well, come to find out, it's pushing all the fluid out. You can see it's way over full here. It should only be down here somewhere. Because as it's pumping, that line that feeds underneath here, it goes to that metal rail. So this line right here is the one that goes under the block that feeds the water pump. It doesn't look bad right here. I pulled it up, but if you stick your hand underneath it, it's completely delaminated and collapsed. So it's not letting anything in. So it just keeps pushing everything out of the vent. So I've seen this happen before, but not on a generator. So what I've done is we got a really heavy, thick line here. I don't know what size it is. So I got two different sizes. One of this one, it's this one or this one. I'm not sure exactly. But I'm going to attempt to run a new line from that water pump underneath over to that fitting. So first thing I gotta do is drain the block out, and then we'll try to sneak that line, and then we'll bleed it out and run it. Drain our reservoir here, and I want to just dump this fluid into his bilge. Oh, she's full. Alright, so now this is completely empty. If you look, this is the line that's off the bottom of it. It's underneath the generator, and there's nothing coming out of it. It should be flowing all the fluid out of the block right now. So I'm going to attempt to pull this line off over here and drain the block out before we run a new line. I don't know how much of this I'm going to be able to film, so I think I'm just going to do it real quick, and then we'll fill it all back up. Because there's not any room really for anything down here, and it's all wet. I don't want to kill my camera, so the next footage you see, we'll have a new line in, and we'll look at that old line and see what it looks like. Alright, we're back. And we got our new line in. It's fed underneath where it's supposed to. Goes around the corner over here. Basically just comes straight across to our spot right there. And we got our bottle right here, ready to bleed out. So we'll pull the cap and fill it up here, and I'll show you how to bleed it off our two fittings up here. Well, let's take a look at this thing. So here's our hose. That's pretty nasty. Completely delaminated. It's like twisted. Surprised it didn't lose fluid, but it held all its fluid in. Just wouldn't circulate. Now let's fill up our reservoir here. So now that we're completely topped off here, it should be airlocked. So we're gonna have to undo our top bleed fitting here, which is on top of our thermostat. What we're gonna do is wait until solid fluid comes out of here, which it should be emptying out of here. You can leave your lid off of here. You can also pick this up higher too if you'd like to. See, if you look, it's got a little tiny hole in it. There's also a hole in the shank of it right there, so when you crack it, it allows air to come out of this spot right here. Basically just a bolt with two holes drilled in it. Ooh, let's say that she's bled out there, huh? That's good. We got fluid movement this time. Before we didn't. Tighten that one down. We got one more to do. And the second one is on our heat exchanger right here. You don't always have to bleed this, but since I completely drained this out, I want to make sure both of them are good. There we go. We're dripping water out of it. That's a good sign. Yeah, she's flowing good. Tighten that back up. There we go. Oh, and these are both 10 millimeter, both of these. Alright, so we're all good and bled out here. We got plenty of fluid in our bottle here to start it up. I think it's the line somewhere right here anyways. It tells you on the max full mark. But we want to put our cap back on it. We want to put it back in its home over here in the corner. We should be able to fire it up, let it run, make sure it doesn't overheat. Alright, let's get some batteries on. We'll see if she runs. Moment of truth. Pumping plenty of water right away. Want to make sure we got no leaks on any of our fittings we just opened up. Go back downstairs here. We'll trade out the shore power for the generator. Good voltage. Also want to go to our next screen here. Keep an eye on our cylinder head temperature. Well, so far so good. Let's crank up some AC here. Make sure these are fully cranked up here. 5. Oh, or the generator. Didn't like both those kicking out at the same time. Well, so far so good. We'd definitely be a lot hotter right now after we've been running for about 5 minutes. Got a full load on it here. We got 93 hours on it. That's why it's surprising about that hose. This boat's basically not even a year old. Well, that being said, I'm going to let this thing sit and run for quite a while here. I'm going to double check my fluids on everything. Shut it on and off a few times because he's had this problem for a little while. And I think we found the problem luckily, but definitely want to make sure that this is the culprit. We don't have a thermostat issue or something else going on. So far so good. Well, if you have any questions about the closed cooling system or the Fischer Panda or anything about both, really, shoot me a comment below and I'll be happy to answer if I can. And as always, I appreciate everybody watching. I will see you next time. Later. Well, Oscar, I don't think they're going to be fixing that.